Well, look what I have back. This is a case, let's see, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s, just when I was just starting to get into computers. A really good friend of mine built me a really nice computer, and I used it for many years. I don't remember what happened. Eventually, as time goes on, you just start, I ended up using this case, and I built my sister a computer. It does not have the original board that he put in it, but anyway, I built this for my sister quite a few years ago for Windows 7. It's been a good computer for her, but since end of support is coming up here in about a week or less, this dual core just didn't, in my opinion, didn't have quite enough oomph for Windows 10, so I ended up buying her a whole new computer, and I got my old case back. And then I got to thinking, well, as long as I have the case back, because I just loved this case. It was a good case. I figured, well, as long as I got the case back, I had to dig pretty deep in the closet to find this. I knew I still kept it. And I thought, yeah, this was back in the Pentium 3 days. And I remembered this motherboard could handle the fastest Pentium 3 they ever made. It was a good build when my friend built this computer. I remember I kept the motherboard. I think what happened was I'm hoping, I don't know, it seems like the CPU just finally blew on it. It just stopped working, and I thought, someday I'm going to get this going again. I looked it over. The only thing that's got me a little bit concerned, I'm definitely going to have to order, I think I'm going to have to put some new capacitors in it, because I see one capacitor is just starting to bulge a little bit. I'm thinking that might be one of the reasons why the CPU went on it. It's during that era when they didn't use very good capacitors on motherboards. So, but I thought, well, before I go through all that trouble, I thought if I could at least find a CPU and some RAM and just hook it up to see if it'll even post into the BIOS. So I did some more looking and digging. I did manage to find a Pentium 3 CPU. It's not that great, but it's enough to test the board. I found a Celeron 600 here just to see if the board would even boot. So I was going to put that in there. Took me a while. I finally found a heat sink for it. I don't have a fan for it yet, but this is just to see if the darn thing will even turn on. Found a stick of RAM. And I found a video card to plug into it. So I'm thinking I'm going to hook this board up and see if it'll even turn on. Oh, I got to find a BIOS battery too. But anyway, yeah, it would be nice to put this board back together again with its original case, and it just, it's kind of a nostalgia thing. I was so happy when I got that computer from when my friend built it for me at the time, and it was such a well built computer. I remember it, and it even had Windows ME on it, and at the time Windows ME was a lot of people did not like ME, but for some odd reason it worked really good for me. So, but yeah, it'd be nice to get this set up all going again. So let me put this board somewhat together on the bench here, and I'll see if it'll do anything. I say that the reason I'm doing this is it's kind of fun. It's kind of like finding an old car that you had in the past, and then finding the original engine that went with that car. It's just it'd be kind of fun to get it all back together again. Hopefully this old girl still works. I just don't remember what exactly went wrong with it at the time. But let's see, make sure there's no bent pins. This looks like a pretty good CPU. Oh, that slipped right in there, no problems. Let's see, clean it stuff. Although I don't remember Pentium 3's getting all that hot, but we'll still make it nice and clean and shiny. Oh, if you want to know what I'm doing, you want things as clean as possible, so we get a good heat. I just want everything nice and clean. Oh yeah, it's nice and clean, no problems there. Make sure your heat sink is nice and clean. Give that a moment to dry off and evaporate. And we'll put some of this good stuff on here. That's the stuff I like to use. That's good stuff. Always had really good luck with it. Put a little dab on there, just make sure we're gonna. A little dab will do ya. If I remember correctly, that's one thing I did not like about the Pentium 3 days was putting these heat sinks on. Is you got like this snappy clip thing that you got to pop on there, and it's not an easy thing to do. So, come on. You got the one side on, and you're gonna really reef down to get that to snap on there. I guess that didn't go on too bad. There, at least it's got something to pull some of the heat away. Let's see. Put a stick of RAM in there. I say this is just to see if it's even a possibility. Okay, we got some RAM. Got a brand new BIOS battery here. Pop that in. And video card. I couldn't find an AGP video card. This is just a PCI. Let's just see if get something for a video signal. Let's see. I wished I had a bench to. Let's see if I put it on the edge there. That should work. Just enough. I'm going to pause this until I get everything hooked up. Then we'll go from there. Well. Okay, nothing pretty here. Like I say, it's just for a test run here. Video card, mouse and keyboard. Just a little mini ATX power supply, just to give it power. These Pentium 3s don't take much. Just plugged a cheap little fan in here, just see if the fan, just so I got some indication something's coming on here. Plugged into the monitor there. The only thing that's confusing me is I got a little power button here to turn it on. Let's see, it's kind of hard to see. Let's see here. Let's see, can I get this to focus? The motherboard says the power is supposed to be on these two pins. But in the book, it says them two pins. So the question is, which two pins is it actually? Well, I guess we're going to find out here shortly. I'm going to try the ones and try the schematic in the book first, see what that does. So I guess we'll see what it does. Alrighty, power here. Keep my fingers on some switches just in case. Oh, guess the book was right. Okay. Three beeps. What does 3 beeps mean? And 3 beeps and some red lights there. That's another nice thing about this board, is it does have a diagnostics. So red, green, red, red, and 3 beeps. Let's see what the book says. Kill the power here. Let's see what the book says. And according to the book, red, green, red, red, memory test. So it does not like that stick of RAM. So I'll try a different stick of RAM, see what that does. Alrighty, different stick of RAM, we'll see what this does. Oh, that's a good sign. Look at that, it still works. We have a post screen. Alrighty. Yeah, this looks very promising. Okay, let's see, let's just load the defaults. Oops, wrong keyboard. Forgot this is the old PS2 keyboard instead of USB. Just load the defaults. Of course, we don't have a drive or nothing hooked to it. But so far, it's working, as far as I can tell. Get into the BIOS again here. Come on. Okay. Let's see here. Make sure everything's behaving itself. Looks good so far. Voltages look good. (2002) is when that motherboard must have come out. Huh, interesting. Well, I guess now that it promises to work, I might look into ordering some capacitors for it, just to be on the safe side. And I did find a really good deal on a CPU that I'm thinking about buying for it, so we'll see how this goes here. But it's looking promising. Well, doing a bit of research, I looked on the motherboard. If I buy this capacitor kit here, this has a good majority of the capacitors I need. I need some 2200s, some 1000s, some 470s. The hardest one I couldn't find, I need a 2700. That's the one that's bulging by the CPU. So I'll have to buy that one separate, that 27 ferrite or UF. I forgot how to pronounce it. I think they call it ferrite. But that's the one that I'll need to go by the CPU there. And then I did find the fastest CPU you can put on that board. The Pentium 3 1400 megahertz. The Titilian Pentium 3. He only wants 20 bucks for it, a couple bucks for shipping, or $4 for shipping. Positive feedback, I'm really thinking of taking a chance on that, ordering that CPU. So there's the CPU. I think I got enough RAM. I got some more boxes to dig through. I like to get at least 512 RAM in it. And then just for kicks and giggles, I come across this on eBay. Is that board really worth that much? I guess that board is worth restoring if that's what they're asking for it. But yeah, this is the same board I have, and he wants 240 bucks for it. I thought that was kind of interesting. But so yeah, that's the plan. Order some capacitors and maybe get that CPU coming, and I guess I'll go from there. We'll see if I can get that old girl going again. So yeah, anyway, other than this one capacitor that's bulging a little bit, overall the board looks like it's in pretty darn good shape. You know, I took pretty good care of it. Like I say, when it did stop working, I just threw it in that box and put it away. Nice thing about it is it does have front USB. It does have the old style ISA slot, which would be handy for the old DOS games, AGP. So it's not a bad little motherboard. So we'll see how this goes. Like I say, I'll have to order some parts first, and we'll just I'll go from there.